More than 20 years ago, Robert Roberson was convicted of murdering his 2-year-old daughter, Nikki Curtis. As his execution nears, some activists and lawmakers are calling him innocent, claiming the case was based on junk science. But some in Nikki's family and those who reviewed the evidence say the truth is clear. I spoke with Nikki's half-brother, Matthew Bowman, who says his family still lives with the pain of what happened and frustration that people are now defending the man convicted of her murder.
Built the fireplace that's out there in front of his house. We built the smoke room over there on the side of the house. Mine and her footprints are right there in it. When she was 2 years old, that's when we did the footprint. Every day of my life has been a memory of her.
Matthew says the evidence of abuse was overwhelming and impossible to ignore. What are the key facts from the case that stand out to you that have convinced you of Robert Roberson's guilt in this tragic murder?
I guess you could say it would be the pictures of my sister on a machine with his handprint across her face, or the bruise that's on the back of her head right there in the pictures that we have right here in my house right now, or the fact that he called his girlfriend to ask what to do about it. He said bring him to the hospital, and she calls him a few minutes later and said, "Why ain't you up here yet?" "Oh, well, I'm going to get her dressed, and then I'll be there." And he still showed up with her in a diaper with blood coming out her nose, and she's just dangled in the car seat back there.
Believes recent efforts to portray Roberson as a victim are a political distraction that dishonor his sister's memory.
Everybody's forgotten what this case is about. This is about a 2-year-old baby that lost her life, not about a grown man that has been in and out of prison his entire life. There's no reason this man should have even had custody. There's no way a court would have gave him custody today.
State Representative Mitch Little, who's reviewed the full trial record, says the evidence leaves no doubt about Roberson's guilt.
When you look at the trial transcript, what is obvious to you is that there is harmony across all of the witnesses that testified in the trial.
He pointed to the testimony of multiple witnesses, the medical findings of 7 physicians, and the extensive blunt force injuries documented in the autopsy.
There was clear indications of physical abuse, bruising, mushiness, bogginess on the back of Nikki's scalp. The autopsy was signed off on by 7 different physicians in Dallas, indicating that she had what's called an uncal herniation inside of her head. She was abused so badly that her brain actually deviated from where it's supposed to be inside of her skull. She had bilateral retinal hemorrhages, meaning there's bleeding inside of her eyes from physical abuse. Bruises on her mouth, her shoulder, her back, what's called subscapular swelling on the back of her body.
Little has also rejected claims that this was a shaken baby case built on outdated science, saying the trial was based on clear evidence of blunt force trauma and that every court, including a unanimous United States Supreme Court, has upheld the conviction.
This is a long-term project of what's called the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project is a leftist-fueled organization designed to undermine the death penalty as a whole. And their hope is that by casting doubt or sowing doubt on significant death penalty cases, that eventually it will cause enough people to take a second look about whether the death penalty should even exist to begin with.
For Nikki's family, justice delayed is justice denied. They say it's time to remember the victim, not rewrite the story. Reporting for Texas Scorecard, I'm Brandon Waltens.